vetting of aspirants for the positions of local NUGS and SRC provincial for Hohoe province. Before I continue, I would like to introduce panel members for today. First of all, my name is Rex Fodasa and I'm the Electoral Commission Chairperson. To my far right is Mr. William Nyonato Rehoboth. He is the Second Deputy Electoral Commission Chair. Next to him is Mr. Nathaniel Awentri Angang. He is from the Student Populace. Then sitting next to him is Mr. Tansen Kelvin. He is from the Parliament. Immediate to my left is Mr. Enoch Ejari, the legal advisor. Next to him is Mr. Daniel Tete Adwaji. He's also from the Student Populace. Next to him is Mr. Sam Joseph. He's also from the UHAS SRC Parliament. And last on the panel is Mr. Amevowoshi Elinam Prosper. He's also from the Student Populace. Okay. So that's it. So that's it for the panel. And also, before we start, we are going to have some ground rules for the whole vetting process. So the first ground rule is, one, the general public will be allowed a question per candidate, and the panel must be notified first before they are allowed to question the candidate. Okay. But this is the first one we are going to do it now. Yes. Okay. So we'll begin with you. Please, what's your name and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Fana Jessica Akpenesewa is the name. A level 300 public health nutrition students of the Fred Newton Binker School of Public Health.
Please, we can't hear you.
Fana Jessica Akpenesewa is my name. A level 300 public health nutrition students of the Fred Newton Binker School of Public Health. Born on 17 June 2001 to Mr. and Mrs. Fana. Yeah. I love public speaking, teaching, cooking, and a lot about music. Basically, that's.
Thank you. You were supposed to submit 8 copies of your curriculum vitae. Please, where is it?
Please, that's a mistake on my side. I forgot.
You forgot to submit your curriculum vitae.
Yes.
But the constitutional instrument has been in circulation for close to 2 months.
Yes.
So what prevented you from submitting your curriculum vitae?
Please, actually it's on my laptop and I forgot to upload it on my phone to print out, and today is Sunday, so there is no printing press so I can currently.
So how do we know what you are saying?
Please, I believe with the panel that I would submit the CV by tomorrow.
By tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll leave my other panel members to start the question.
Okay.
I want to ask you, what inspired you to go for such a position?
Thank you very much for the question. Throughout my life, I've believed in students' leadership, and reading a lot about the NUGS, I got to understand that the NUGS treasurer is the custodian of the union's money. So any who takes care of how the money is being disbursed. So with me being the NUGS treasurer, with my the president and the secretary, whenever they bring out the program, the activities that are going to have for the semester or the academic year, I would look through so that the money is not being misappropriated. So that was what mainly motivated me to go for the treasurer's position.
You said you look through the budget and make sure the money is not misappropriated. So from what you are saying, meaning previous administrations have been misappropriating funds. So you are coming to be so that you prevent that.
No, please. I didn't say the previous administration has been misappropriating the funds, but I think that with a treasurer, you have to have that that capability to be able to make sure that the funds are being used for the optimum benefits of the students.
Sure. Miss Fana, hope I've not butchered your name. Great. What is a policy? When we say policy, what do you understand by policy?
Okay, to me, policy is what I, as the aspirants for the NUGS treasurer position, what I would do when I come into.
What you would do?
Yes.
That's what you said, what you would do. Okay, great. So I'll just end it over there. Now let's just move to your skill competence, right? You want to be local NUGS treasurer, okay. Per constitution, what are some of the responsibilities the local NUGS treasurer is expected to perform? Just give me about two.
You're supposed to be the custodian of the union's money, and you're supposed to work hand in hand with the other members of the local NUGS secretariats to make sure that the funds of the union is being
very
used.
Very good. So when I cut you short, it's not because I'm being rude, just that I've gotten what I wanted, so I'll just cut you, then we can move on, okay? So we move to point 5 of a supposed policy document that you've presented to the panel. You say, and I read, I will work together with the local secretariat and the women's commissioner of both SRC and FISA, which I believe is supposed to be Public Health Association, right?
Yes.
To help females in developing some skills to help them after school in entrepreneurship. Now I want to ask, this thing that you've presented as your policy, is it within your core mandate?
No, please.
So why is it here?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I think that students are supposed to be, the monies that we as students, we are supposed to use it for our benefits as students. And I am a female and I believe in female gender equality.
Okay, sure. So, local NUGS treasurer, are you geared, or is your office geared towards females alone, or is it just towards both males and females?
No, please. It's for both females and males.
Okay, so I just want to understand. I'm not really. I just want to understand. So why is it that you are targeting females specifically if your office is supposed to be some form of a mouthpiece to both, everyone, regardless of gender?
Please, it's not within my means to do the skills training. That's why I said I would collaborate with the WCOM of both the FISA and the SRC. That's the provincial. If maybe they need some kind of support from the NUGS.
Sure. So let me just end it here. I'm sure my colleagues will take over. Now, I think one last question, then we move on. Do you know what a budget is?
Yes. Please.
What is a budget?
Please, to me, a budget. So when we receive monies like from when the NUGS receives monies. Both
Listen,
that's the
I'm asking a general question. What is a budget? I'm not asking
Okay,
what
a
is
budget.
NUGS budget.
Okay.
Just general definition. What is a budget?
So when you receive income, then your expenditure. So whatever we use the monies that come in to do. So we have to the budget would be the income and the expenditure, whatever we use.
Income and expenditure.
Yes,
Can you
please.
draw a budget?
Yes, please.
So give me just list them. 5 components of a budget. Just list them. Then we can move on.
Okay. So the budget, if I were to draw, you have the income. That is the monies that we received. So
Don't explain. Just list them. So we have income.
the expenditure, then the total, the expenditure. You have to give every, you have to account for everything that
Don't
we
explain,
use.
just move on.
And the total, like total of every amount.
That's 4.
And that's what I.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Miss Fana, right?
Yes.
So, since we don't have your CV here, can you update us on your experience when it comes to keeping money or things related like that?
Okay. I don't have any experience with a treasurer's position, but I've held other positions which is not the treasurer.
Is it related to money?
No, please.
So, none of the positions you've held before?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Do you know the difference between a policy and qualities?
Yes, please.
I'm asking this because I'm looking at your policies and I see loyalty and truthfulness, accountability, transparency, collaboration and teamwork, skills development, and it kind of sounds to me like you are stating qualities of a treasurer instead of policies. Because, or you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, policies, I'm expecting to see what you will do. Like, I know you'll be loyal, I know you'll be truthful. You look like a loyal and truthful person to me. Anyway, but what will you do to prove that thing that you stated? That is what I'm, because honestly, loyalty and truthfulness, and you said, I will serve the union by upholding my Christian values of being truthful, and like they sound like qualities to me.
Well, with the loyal and truthful part, the students are supposed to be aware of what their monies, what goes on with their money. So if I'm saying I will be loyal, that means I'll be true with the budgets. When we draw the budgets and we use the monies.
So based on what you're saying, do you agree with me that it's a quality? That was one of your qualities.
Yes.
So you agree it's not a policy?
Yes, please.
So am I right to say that all the things you stated here are not policies?
Please, with
Loyalty, accountability, transparency, collaboration and teamwork, skills development. So please calm down. Let's have a nice conversation. Am I right to say that all the 5 stated, you've titled it, and I quote, Policies of Fana Jessica Akpene Sewo as the local news treasurer hopeful. Am I right to say that all the 5 stated policies are not policies, but they are qualities of the local news treasurer?
not really.
I'm not right.
Not really.
I say, can you explain?
With the skills development aspect, it's not a quality, because me lies on where the FISA will come and the SRC will come to bring about skills development for leaders. It's not a quality of a treasurer.
So, okay, I agree with something you do, but can you give a constitutional backing to that what this policy you stated, that is the skills development, is within your jurisdiction or is part of a mandate you have? Do you have any constitutional backing to that?
No, please.
No, please. All right, thank you.
Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good.
are you prepared for vetting?
Yes, please.
So already you don't have one, your curriculum vitae here. Two, you don't have a recommendation letter from your dean. So how can we trust you with the funds of the local NUGS if we are not even prepared for today's vetting?
Please, with the recommendation letter. Actually, I didn't know I was supposed to get one from the dean. I only thought it was from the HOD.
Did you read the constitutional instruments?
Yes, please.
Did you take time to go through all requirements for candidates before vetting?
No, please.
What issues have you identified that have plagued the previous government?
To me, I've not identified any issues. I think they've done what they could do.
So out of 10, you score them a perfect 10. Or let me just count. Are you satisfied with the work of the local NUGS in Hohoe?
No, please.
So why aren't you satisfied with their work?
Okay. With the NUGS, I think a lot of students on campus don't really know what the NUGS is about. So it's always SRC. We don't really see NUGS except with the dinner and awards. So when I even said I was aspiring for local NUGS, my friends were like, is it SRC? So like we don't really see what local NUGS is about on campus.
So what will you do differently about it?
Okay, so I would work with the president and the secretary to make sure that we also bring out programs like what the SRC does, since we also have some funds which is being allocated to us so that students see the need for the local NUGS.
When you say you organize programs, will you go and be organizing farm fairs, presidential tours?
No.
What will you be doing? Because there's a mandate of the NUGS. So how are you going to incorporate that mandate with what you are saying as the local NUGS treasurer?
Okay, so with the NUGS, you're supposed to see to the external affairs of the students' populace. So in an event like the scholarship schemes, since the motto of the NUGS is education is a right and not a privilege, we have to make sure that every student gets the education that the person deserves. So it shouldn't be that since the person doesn't have money, the person will not be able to come to school. So we would lies with the national NUGS to make sure that the scholarship opportunities, some of the students who also need the scholarships get those scholarships.
My last question for you. So, you've been elected as a local NUGS. Okay, let me just give you this scenario. So one day you went for a meeting and your president and your secretary, they said they are going to use this money for something and you are not in agreement with it. And they go ahead to do the project and you are not aware of it. How will you be able to solve that issue and make them accountable to the school and refund the money that they used?
Okay, since the treasurer is the custodian of the union's money, I don't think they can be able to go on with any program without the treasurer, because if they are going on with a program, that means they will not have any funding for that particular program, since the treasurer won't sign the budget.
So we start with, I think, with what you said earlier on, mentioning the external affairs and talking about the scholarship. Then why can't you state a policy that you liaise with the national union so that you get funds for the students? And you're saying loyalty. Your church values, please. What church do you attend?
Church of Pentecost.
So do you have? There's no CV for us to have your elders' contact to go and find out whether you uphold the Christian values. But I've mentioned them here. So record keeping is one thing. So I'm going to keep records very well as is expected. And how are you going to do it? I'll get a book, a notebook for it, and I'll also keep one as a soft copy in case there's an emergency. Those are policies. So those two are enough for us to have a policy. So that was not my question. So let's start with my
Thank you.
question now. So the Constitution, which part can we find the activities or the Constitution talking about local NUGS? SRC Constitution, which chapter or article?
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11, okay. So, which of the representative of this, mention the composition of the local NUGS secretariat as enshrined in the NUGS Constitution?
The local NUGS president, the secretary, treasurer, and another person elected by both the president, secretary, and treasurer.
And you know your representative at SRC Parliament is who?
The president.
And you tell me how local NUGS get their funds, as stated by the Constitution.
Okay, so the SRC Constitution, that's 15% of the SRC dues from students. And in the NUGS Constitution...
50% of the SRC dues, or 50% of the campus that you are located, of that amount allocated to that campus, you get 15%. Are you sure? It's 15% of the dues. Because I can do the mathematics, and so 15% of the dues. So it means that Hohoe local NUGS is getting 15% of the dues.
No, please.
It's not
of the campus.
Of the campus, okay. So then, you know, so continue, 15%. But how do you get the money? Okay, let me tell you the processes. So you have to send a document on your expenses or program you want to undertake. You know that the local NUGS is activities are supposed to be supervised by the SRC.
Yes, please.
And when you send it there, it's going to be debated on and approved. And when it's approved, a check is signed and given to the president. So the check does not come to your hands. You're not a signatory. So then how do you prevent? He asked the question earlier, that if the treasurer, the secretary and the president decide to use the money for something else, how then do you stop it now? So back to the same question, how then do you stop? Because you're not a signatory to the accounts. So then how then do you stop it? I've told you the processes now. So how then do you stop it? Who are you reporting to? As the local NUGS secretariat, who do you report to?
Report to the SRC Executive Committee through, yes, that would channel to the SRC Parliament.
And that's all?
And the National NUGS.
So then, those are the channels that you can report the individual to. Okay, so he asked a question earlier, there was a budget, and you mentioned the expenses and the income. So how does that differ from income and expenditure accounts? If you mention a budget to have an income expenses, then what makes that different from an income and expenditure account? No, budget, what's the idea, the concept behind the budget? The concept behind the budget. You do budgets, right?
Yes.
So what do you do your budget for? Have you bought the things?
No, please.
So why are you saying that the budgets have the income and expenses?
Sorry, it was a mistake.
Okay, so I think my last question, then I'll pass it on. So you are the Hohoe local NUGS treasurer. You were given 1,000 Ghana cedi from the SRC. And with 1,000 Ghana cedi, at the end of the first semester, the audit committee asks you to account, so bring an income and expenditure account. And this is what you spent. Stationery, 200 Ghana cedi. And under the stationery, we have notebooks, you bought 3, 130 Ghana cedi. Envelopes, you bought a pack, that was 20 cedis. You bought a stapler, that was 50 cedis. You spent 40 cedis as transportation to, do you have a passport office here?
No, please.
Okay. So, you spent 100 cedis as transportation to Hohoe to go and meet the SRC. Then you spend 160 cedis to management, that's main campus, to also meet them. Then you spend 400 cedis as maintenance. So if I ask to draw an income and expenditure account, tell me the component of it and tell me what will be at each component and how you're going to arrange it.
Okay,
So first, what are the components of income and expenditure account? Just
the income,
the income,
the expenditure, and the total.
the total. No balance or deficit.
Okay.
Total for
Both the income and the total for the expenditure, then the balance of what's remaining.
so with what I've said, what will go under income?
So the income is the money that I received from the SRC. That's
how are you going to
1,000
state it?
cedis.
Are you going to just say income 1,000?
Income from SRC, 1,000 cedis.
Okay, so let's go to the expenses. That's where my interest is. How are you going to present the expenses to the auditor?
So the expenses, so under it, stationery, then that's 200 cedis, and I list the stationaries with the amounts, and that's then the transports. That's part.
Don't you think it's going to be very difficult in reading? The auditor, it's going to be very difficult in getting the concept. So, have you ever seen an income and expenditure accounts before?
No, please.
Okay, there's a portion with notes where if there is a breakdown, like the stationery, so stationery 200 cedis, you put notes. So note 1. You go to transport. If the transport is, I mentioned 100 and I mentioned 160. So put together, that's 260. So transport 260, note 2. You come down, maintenance 3, that's note 3, then amount. Then you add up, then you balance it. Then you come down, come and explain the notes. So note 1 was stationary. What went into that 200 cedis? So it's easier for the person to get the concept. Then come down, come and look at, does it sum up to the books, and do they sum up to 200? That's how it is presented. So that's income. So then it's different from a budget.
Thank you.
And you have to prepare a budget. And now the concept of a budget is quite an issue. So the question is, how prepared are you for the position? But first, have you heard any position? So your CV is not here. Can you tell us can you tell us the position field? The class secretary, be specific. Which class? Was it primary, GHS?
Weeks ago, and now a deputy music director.
Okay. Madam Jessica Akpene, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will read something out to you, which I consider to be one of your duty as a treasurer when voted into power, right? Keeping and maintaining proper records of account of all monies, revenues, and assets, right? So do you see this as one of your duties?
Yes, please.
So can you point out any of your policy which addresses such a duty?
Please, with the But the first and second policy, that's the loyalty and truthfulness. And I talked about keeping records.
Loyalty and truthfulness. Wow. Okay, so now that you accept that what I just read is one of your duties, I want you to tell me what you do to carry out such a duty.
So, keeping records, I have to keep records of the monies that come in, what we use the monies to do, and present the reports. The report is about the monies that come in, where they come from, and what we use the money to do as a union, and be accountable for each and every money.
Wow. So, my last question. Would you prefer to use paperwork or you use electronic means to keep these records? Which one would you prefer?
I would prefer electronic means to the paper.
Like any software that you can use?
Like using Excel.
Excel. So are you, do you know how to use Excel very well?
Yes, please.
Very well. So can you give me any formula, any shortcut formula used in addition?
The cells, maybe, if you are working with,
No, I'm asking a formula, so just be.
so maybe
Like,
A1, the Aspirants, something.
wow. I think it's okay.
We have, okay. Fana Jessica, right? Please, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Fine.
Yes.
So, I just want yes or no, or true or false. I hope you are getting it. So the question that I'll be asking you, you just go straight to the point. Do you get it? So that we don't waste each other's time. And it is not for the sake of anything. You see, we are here as student reps. Do you get it? To assess your credibility and also prove to the students that you are who you are saying you are. Do you get it? Yes. So it would be unfair on my part or on our part to do otherwise. I hope you are getting it. So there's nothing like you are right or you are wrong. Do you get it? We are just trying to fulfill our mandate. I hope you are getting it.
Yes.
Okay. So having laid that ground rule, can we continue?
Yes, please.
Are you ready? Are you sure you don't want water?
No, please.
We should continue. Okay. So in your policy document, even before that, would you agree with me? I just want yes or no, that this is not a policy document.
Yes.
So you agree with me that it's not a policy document.
Yes.
So it would be unfair on my part to ask you questions on this as a policy because it's not a policy document.
Yes.
So I shouldn't ask you a question on that because it's not a policy document.
Yes.
Okay. If we have established that, then what are your policies? What would you do when we vote for you? Because you are saying that I should disregard this. Do you get it? Yes, so I'm disregarding it. So now, let's have a conversation. What are you going to do when we vote for you?
Okay. So, I would perform my duties as the local NUGS treasurer. That is...
Just mention two. What are you going to do?
Keeping records of the union's money and presenting the reports to...
What reports are you going to present?
The reports of the money keeping, that's the...
Okay, so
income
as the local NUGS treasurer, what is the source of your authority?
The SRC Constitution and the LNUGS
SRC
Constitution.
So where in the SRC Constitution is that enshrined?
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11. So it's a chapter. Do we have any clause or anything that can be specific on your duties?
No, please.
There are no chapters, or there are no clauses that indicates that.
There are clauses, but it didn't give the specific duties of
life, you
that.
see, and everyone is looking at you. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So if you don't know, you just say you don't know, so that you don't implicate yourself. Do you get it?
Yes.
Because I wouldn't let you put me at a tight spot by letting you show that I'm ignorant. I would rather want you to be at the wrong side. Do you get it? So to prevent everyone and to make everyone happy, I would want you to tell me, oh, I don't know this, so that I don't drag you on that path. I hope you are getting it. So should I come again with a question?
Yes.
Are you sure that the Constitution is blank on your duties? Do you know or you don't know?
I know something about that.
But
The
initially
SRC.
You said that it hasn't been enshrined.
I
Your
said chapter 11,
Yes.
but the duties as in the local NUGS presidents, the secretary and treasurer, as in individual duties have not been enshrined in the SRC Constitution.
So if I'm able to pick up your duty from the Constitution, am I allowed to discredit you on that basis? If I'm able to show you that, yes, this is the Constitution and this are your duties, because I have it here. If I'm able to show you, does that mean that you are not credible enough and your skills, I'll use this as a skill, you are lying to us here that you are truthful? So if I'm able to show you, it means that this is not credible, the truthful part.
Well, I'm saying that on the basis that with the NUGS Constitution.
So you just say you don't know about it.
Okay.
Okay, there's no harm in saying that. Now, you made mention of the fact that monies, I'm not treating it as a policy document, I'm treating it as a scale. Do you get it? So you made mention that monies received from the National Executive Committee. And if you say that, I'm trying to mean the national, right?
Yes.
Monies received from them would be well kept. That is what you said. So, what is the source of finance for NUGS? Earlier, one panel asked, and you said 15%. So, how are money disbursed from the national NUGS? Because you said you are going to keep it well. So, it stands to reason that you know how you are going to receive the money from them. So, how is the money disbursed from the national NUGS?
Please, I don't.
You don't know. So again, you wrote something that you don't know about.
With the NUGS Constitution, I read that money is the local NUGS receives money from the national NUGS.
You read
but
it in the Constitution.
in the NUGS Constitution.
Which of them? The local NUGS?
The national
The
NUGS
national
Constitution.
And it states that they will be giving you money.
Like, they receive money from the SRC, the national NUGS, and other donor bodies.
So is it the national NUGS that receives money from the local SRC, or is it local SRC that is / the local NUGS secretariat that receives money from the national? Do you know or you don't know?
The national receives money from the local.
So if the national receives money from the local, then how are you going to keep that money? Because you are not the recipient of the money. Do you understand the question?
Yes.
You said it's from the local to the national. So if that is the case, then how are you going to keep the money? Because you are giving it away. But they are saying that you are going to keep it and you will be transparent with it. So how are you going to keep it?
That was a mistake.
Okay. So counting the number of times you said that's a mistake, it's more than 3 times, right? First, you talked about the dean's recommendation, and you said it was a mistake. You made mention, you just said it's a mistake. That is the second time. And you also talked about your CV as a mistake. So you've made 3 mistakes. Do you really want to go for this position?
Yes, please.
So why then are you making repeated mistakes? That means, is it safe to say that you are not prepared? No, I know you are serious. Do you get it? You're a serious person, and you are very serious with academics. The panel, we were just talking about it. But on this path, you are not serious with what you are doing now. True or false?
False.
False. You made 3 mistakes, so you don't call that a sign of unseriousness.
With the CV, I would say it was forgetfulness.
So we are going to entrust you with our money. Do you get it? And one sign that you are showing to the panel and the student populace and the good people on the Hohoe campus is that you are someone who easily forgets. And how long have you prepared for this vetting?
It's almost 2 weeks.
Almost 2 weeks. So you forget 2 weeks of preparation, and on the D-Day you forget everything.
No, please.
Do you want me to continue?
Please. I can't tell you what to do.
I want you to be decisive. I'm also assessing your confidence. I hope I get. I'm not supposed to say it, but for the benefit of everything. So I'm also assessing your confidence. Do you get it? So I want you to tell me, should I hand over the mic or I should continue?
Please continue.
I should continue. So if I should continue, do you actually know what is on the grounds, the NUGS, the local NUGS? Do you know what is on the ground? Because first you said that you are going to keep the money from the national NUGS, but with our conversation, it proved to be false. Do you get it? That means that it's not true. So do you really know what is being done? You also said that you would ensure accountability for the president not to use the money anyhow. But with further engagement, we saw that you can't ensure that accountability, right? So do you actually know what is being done on grounds with the local NUGS?
Yes, please.
You know what is done. You know what is done. So mention 2 of the projects that the local NUGS have done on the Hohoe campus. We all know birth certificates, we all know passport. So mention, they've been doing it. The previous ones have been doing it for 3 years now. That's what everyone does. So mention a project, with the exception of those 2.
There was the driving school project.
Okay. And what again?
That's
the only thing. So you don't know what's on the ground. Am I safe to? Or you partially know what's on the ground?
Partially.
So it means that you are not fully fit, or like you are not fully prepared, or you don't fully know, right?
All right, Madam or Miss Fena, right? Okay. I hope you're okay. But then you've dropped all, so about the policy. So you can't defend the policy. As a treasurer.
Please, I didn't get the question.
Main style is how you, as a how do you exercise your authority and ensure objectives are achieved. That's basically what I mean by the management style.
Okay.
So as a treasurer, let's say you are how do you exercise authority to ensure that your, let's say, goal, okay, is achieved.
I can't do anything without the president and the secretary. So everything that I would do it's a collaborative and a teamwork something. So it's myself together with the president and the secretary, that we bring ideas together to make sure that the union works.
Okay, so in as much as you work as a team, meaning you don't have any authority, is that what you mean? As a treasurer, you don't have any authority. Yes or no? Yes or no?
No,
You don't have any authority.
I have.
So what's your authority? As a treasurer, right? You said you hold custodians to what?
The union's money.
Okay. So do you have authority in keeping the money safe, or you don't?
I have authority in making sure that the money is being used for beneficial purposes.
So why then did you say you don't have authority? Okay. Have you ever had a trouble enforcing a financial regulations? It is yes or no?
No.
No. Okay. All right. My last two questions. How would you ensure that as a treasurer, okay, complex financial information, okay, is being communicated effectively and then to the understanding of the students? When I talk of complex financial information, as a treasurer, you people will be using some kind of big terms. Example are capital gains, assets allocation, net worth, and all those things. Me, I don't know, or someone doesn't know. So how do you communicate to these people by using these kind of terms to their understanding?
Okay, so I think
Because you said you'll be giving regular reporting, right?
yeah.
And then you can't give a report without using any of these words.
Yeah.
Definitely you use some of them. So how then do you explain it to their understanding?
Okay, so I think in the reports, I would write some words, some of the words in the reports, like the ones I think that the students populace would not understand. I'll write them out like at the beginning with their meaning. So as the person reads, as I read out the reports, the person would understand what I mean.
Okay, so asset allocation, what does it mean?
Please, I don't know.
Okay, so my last question. Professor Jenana Ajima, okay, she was the first female vice chancellor in the Ghanaian University. In which school?
University of Ghana.
Come again?
University of Ghana.
Okay, you're wrong. Go ahead.
Miss Farah, I just want to say something. Like, calm down.
Okay.
Because you're actually doing so well. Like, you're very honest. That's nothing I've noticed. Where you realize that you were lacking, you actually came clean to it. That you are very honest. Like, something I've noticed. But then I just realized that with regards to what you are going to actually do, you were not really prepared for that. Like, you did so well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Fana Jessica Akpene Sewo, for coming. So we'll kindly direct you to look. So
Good afternoon. Akmene, please, can you give me the list
your well wishers out there. Just an opportunity to campaign to your to the student populace.
Okay, so I'm Fana Jessica Akpeneso, aspiring for the local Hohoe local LNUGS treasurer. I would need your votes and your support on this, and I promise that I will do my best in my office when given the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, do you have any last words for us as a panel?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Good afternoon, Mr. Desmond. How are you doing? Okay. Can you have your seat? Kindly introduce yourself to the panel, please.
All right. So, panel, my name is Asimeni Desmond, a level 200 disease control student. I attended DHS called Paradise Preparatory School in the central region of Ghana. I also attended Cedro Senior High, Agona Cedro, and currently in the University of Health and Allied Sciences. I am a time-conscious person, so I go with time. Whenever it is time to do something, I go with it. So I'm very time-conscious. I am a disciplined guy. I'm very disciplined, and also a multitasking individual that I can handle simultaneous tasks and get all done appropriately. Please, this is a brief description of myself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Esimeni. Am I pronouncing?
Yeah, Asimeni.
Esimeni, that's right. Okay. So, please, what portfolio are you running for? What portfolio are you running for?
Local NUGS president.
Local news president. Okay. So, I'll give the opportunity to my panel members to start the questioning, and I'll add mine.
Mr. Desmond, you're welcome.
Thank you.
My first question is, so this is your manifesto. This is your manifesto.
Yeah.
In filing the forms, okay, or let me say in filling the forms, were you asked to submit a manifesto or policies? Because, okay, in the first, what's the difference between manifesto and policy?
So, please, before I will answer, I will plead that you forgive me in case I due to the imperfection of human, maybe I may. So, in the case of the vetting, if my words may, I will plead that you forgive me.
Okay.
So, the difference between manifesto and policy. So, policies are, in my view, are ideologies of a person who aspires for a position. So, the mindset of that person and what that person, short the ideologies of.
And what about policy?
That is policy, I said.
What about manifesto?
So manifesto is the representation of that policy.
Okay. It's
Or
okay.
the presentation.
All right. But you were asked to
Come
provide
with-
policy and not manifesto. You are
So-
just explaining everything here. Fine.
I'm sorry for that.
Your first policy, effective teaching and learning processes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you know your core mandate as a local NUGS president?
Yes, I know.
Can you let us know your core mandate?
Is that?
Can you let us know your core mandate as a local NUGS president?
Yes, please. So, from the NUGS Constitution, that's the National NUGS Constitution, it is stated clearly that the NUGS, that's the National Union of Ghana Students, the NUGS shall safeguard the interest and right of students. And also, in the UHAS SRC Constitution, it is stated that the local NUGS, we shall the English. The NUGS will,
Mr.
on behalf of, please let me.
Okay.
Okay. So the national NUGS, the local NUGS contribute or perform the external activities of the SRC. I've forgotten the exact word to use.
Okay. All right. So they ensure the external affairs.
Yes, please.
Of the SRC, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your first policy, you stated that the common issue hindering effective teaching on this our very campus is inadequate and faulty projectors.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
The first question is, how is this an external affair?
So, I like seeing.
Is it an external affair?
It's an internal affair.
Internal affair.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, is it in relation to your mandate as a local NUGS president?
The
Yes
first.
or no?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that means that you are not supposed to do this. You are not the one supposed to do this. Fine. As a local NUGS president, I want to do this. How are you going to do it?
Okay. So, in my policy document, I said, as a NUGS president, I cannot work alone. So, I shall collaborate with all other executives and the student body, including FISA executives, in achieving this task.
If you have a policy,
Yes, please.
where do you submit it before it is being implemented?
If
As a NUGS president, you have a policy
yeah,
and you want to implement it
yeah.
and work with it. Where do you submit it?
So, as the local NUGS president,
Yes, that's what I said.
I would submit it to the SRC committee, executive committee.
Let me say you are wrong. You don't know.
All right.
Please, have you ever had any position before?
Yes, please. So, mostly I'm a religious person. So, I've held positions in churches.
So I'm asking, what position have you
Okay,
ever
so
held?
I was a Bible studies coordinator in my SHS and also Bible studies coordinator currently in my church, Pensa. Also in DHS, I was the assistant school prefect.
Okay, so as you are here right now, what qualities do you have that qualifies you to be local NUGS president?
All right. So, just as I stated earlier in my introduction of myself, I am a multitasking person. So, that one is one of my qualities. And I am also a very decisive person, that I am able to take decisions effectively and with time, within time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Desmond. As the local president, what's the source of authority?
So the source of our authority is in the Constitution. So in Chapter 7 of the National NUGS Constitution, the National NUGS Constitution, it talks about there will be a local NUGS and it shall comprise of, so that is the national. And in our UHAS Constitution, so the local NUGS, our authority is vested in the Chapter 11 of our SRC Constitution, the UHAS SRC Constitution.
Which states, what's your core mandate?
So the NUGS shall, the local NUGS shall attend to the external affairs of the.
Okay, so that is it. The next question that I'm going to ask, I just want you to be specific, true or false. I hope you are getting it, and it's going to be very short. So, looking at continuity you may that is part of your policies that you are going to continue whatever it is. What will you be continuing?
So
Just give me 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
okay. Passport registration.
Okay.
Registration of the birth set.
Okay.
Then also assist students. In
Okay. So that means that you wouldn't be, aside those 3. What new thing would you be introducing?
What new?
What new initiative will you be bringing?
Okay.
Let's be snappy.
All right. So the new thing.
Okay, you don't worry. My next set of questions is, what challenge have you identified
Okay.
pertaining to your office?
Within my office. Okay. So I've realized that.
Just mention it. 1, this, so that we'll be snappy. I beg
Okay.
you.
So the publicity.
LNUGS publicity.
Yeah.
So what
like-
are you going to do to solve it?
So I will.
Just
So I will improve the publicity
how?
through the media.
So the current LNUGS, they are not using the media.
So they are using it, but it
So
is
what
not
will you-
often.
What will you do differently?
So I will do it often. Like, let's say if we are to have an event, I will start the publicity earlier. Yeah. And
What
continue.
event?
Any of the LNUGS event, example, the LNUGS dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an event of the LNUGS.
So you know that the LNUGS dinner, we have a committee that is responsible for that. So what will be your role as the president?
In that committee.
Yes, because you are saying that you would be working on the publicity, but I'm thinking the publicity is more to your secretary. So what will be your role?
So the president will instruct the secretary.
So indirectly, you are trying to say that the secretary who will be coming wouldn't be competent enough to work until you instruct.
If you instruct somebody, that doesn't mean
You see,
that
the
person
reason
is
why
not
I'm asking this question is
competent.
because
Yes.
we are having a system where people don't know what they are supposed to do. I hope you are getting it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you are the one, but people don't know what they are supposed to do. So in other words, the SRC is using its resources on one thing, whilst there are other things that you are supposed to do. So the reason why I'm asking this question is not to mount pressure on you, but I'm trying to let us have a clear path of what we'll be doing, whilst your secretary will also be doing what the secretary will be doing. So let's just leave the secretary to work. Let's assume the secretary is competent, he will work. So what will you be doing?
to enhance the
Yes.
publicity.
Yes. Because the secretary will be doing its work, and that would be for the secretary. We also have media relations from the SRC that will be sharing flyers and be doing
For
it.
NUGS.
Yes, for NUGS.
You see, the media relation for NUGS will be propagating the media relation for SRC will be propagating
The
NUGS.
local SRC,
Mhm.
the NUGS is part of the SRC.
Exactly.
So we use the resources of the SRC. I hope you are getting it.
All
So
right.
the media anything, they will be doing that. So I just want to know what you are going to do in your office as the president.
In my office
Yes.
as the president, in relation to the publicity,
It's
right?
fine, it's fine.
Oh,
Master Desmond Asimani.
Asimene.
What?
Asimene.
Asimani. Okay. First, I'll put my question into two categories. So let me start with the first one. I hope you know the current Hohoe news president,
Yes, please.
and you have been following him for, let's say, since he was elected till now, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So do you know his policies?
Yes.
You know them.
Yes.
Can you mention just two?
Okay. So when I was in level 100, he came to me.
Just mention.
Okay. He will have driving licenses, like he will when he reads, he will have a driving school. He organize a driving training for interested students who will want to participate. So that is one. And he also promised as of organizing the passport registration when he wins. So that is two of his.
Okay. So, do you think these two that you mentioned are his core mandate as the new president?
His core mandate
Yes.
from the constitution?
No. Yes or no?
No.
No. So by assessing him, you say he's what? Incompetent, right?
No.
But you didn't say that, or?
I didn't say that.
So what will you say about him?
So for him, he is I don't know what to say, honest person. So he's very honest. Whatever that he told us that he would do, he did it. With these examples that I gave, he did it. So he's an honest person. He's an honest person. He was very honest to us. He didn't come and lie to us that I will do this and I didn't do it.
So on a scale of 10, how will you rate it?
8.
8?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Now let me get back to you. Let me continue with your CV. Do you see anything wrong with your CV?
Sure. Yes.
What is that? Can you mention them for me?
What I see wrong with is that I was not able to put some of my achievements on the documents.
So, do you think we should accept it as your CV, or we should just ignore it?
You should accept it.
We should accept it. So, give me, you said at your references, you said will be made available upon request. So, how many references you have? And give them out right now so that we can write and call them.
Oh. So I do not have my reference list available here.
So then you can consider this as a CV, right?
No, you can. It is my CV.
And I'm saying we can consider it.
No, please.
Okay. I think I'm good with you.
Please, do you have a pen?
Pen.
Okay, so please can you come and a paper? So if you should just return my pen and my paper.
All right.
Okay, so we are going to do an activity. So that's what I want practicality. And your words are what I use against you. So let's first start. Who is the first female Vice Chancellor of Ghana? Okay, so whilst you are doing that, multiply 15 by 13 for me. And who is the first female Vice Chancellor? I'm ready to know.
The female Vice Chancellor, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yes.
Okay, so now you are saying that your policy, you are going to help people assist students in acquiring, I'm waiting for my multiplication, in acquiring students. What are the processes involved in acquiring student loan? What are the processes involved in acquiring student loan? I have about 5 minutes, so
So, in acquiring for student loan, you will...
My answer has been long.
You will ask for...
Yes, you ask for, what are the processes involved?
So, you will need...
I'm still waiting for my calculation.
You will need an e-Swiss card. Then you need your Ghana card.
Is that what is required? Is that what is required?
That is what you require. You need your e-Swiss card. You need your Ghana card. So you have to...
So how are you going to assess them?
I will...
Yeah, because you're going to assist them in applying.
Yeah, I will... Yeah.
Are you going to bring the NIA here for the registration?
No.
Please, my multiplication. Okay, so you wrote a quote. One small positive thought can change your whole world, your whole day. What is the essence of it? Please, what's the essence of that? What is the essence of it?
One
small positive thought can change your whole day. What is the essence of it?
Yeah, so it is about the power of positivity. So
what is the essence? You've written a manifesto and you are telling us, which is your CV, your policy document now. What are you telling us that power of positivity, what should we do with it? What do you want us to gain from that?
So I want you to know that I'm a positive-minded person. And
You're a
that,
positive-minded person.
Yes. And that whatever that I said I will do, I have the faith that I shall accomplish it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That you have a faith to accomplish it?
Yes, please.
Now you said you're teaching and learning. Wait, you said something. Teaching and learning. You are going to, this time, unity. How is unity going to help? Are you saying that the local news didn't see the issue?
I'm not saying they didn't see it.
I know they didn't see it.
Yeah.
So what is it?
So, unity. They I'm not saying there's no unity.
No, you're saying yes, unity is the key. But how is unity going to achieve? So unity is going to move management.
You see, there's unity, but
So why are you saying that unity is...
there
because
are
the main
levels of unity.
So please, what are the levels of unity? Please make sure it is documented. You are in evidence-based era. So what are the levels of unity?
So I do not have any document of...
So I asked him to multiply because he said he's a multitasking person. That's why I asked him to do the multiplication. He wasted my time, didn't even tell me the answer. You are not done. No, you said multitasking, you do it simultaneously, and he repeated it several times. So I wanted practicality, and I gave you that. So I'm not harsh on you, but that's what you want. And I can't ask you to multiply, finish multiplying before I ask my question. He says simultaneously, and he repeated it several times. So it's not because I have anything against you. I don't even know you. So that is it. Okay, so the last question. Professor Jane, Opoku, Ajima, sorry. Mrs. Jane Mensah. Mrs. Jane Mensah.
Mrs. Jane Mensah.
Jane Mensah is the electoral commissioner.
Yes, please.
Of Ghana, the electoral commission of Ghana. Who is the electoral commissioner of UHAS? You see, I didn't say she's a female, and I didn't bring a picture. I mentioned, even Nishad made a mistake, he mentioned the name, but I was able to mention the name. And I'm asking, she is the electoral commissioner. Then who is the electoral commissioner of the UHAS? You are pointing.
Mr.
Mr. Esemeni, are you prepared for today's vetting?
Yes, please.
Because you've displayed that you didn't do a lot of background search, or you didn't even... I'm disappointed that you don't even know my name. Anyways, so first of all, what challenges have you identified with the previous administration?
One of the challenges I've identified is that for his manifesto, his policies that he wanted to give us, people were not able to involve themselves because of the costs involved. People were not able to patronize it. Yeah, the word. People couldn't patronize the interventions that he brought properly because of the cost that was accompanied with.
What will you do differently about it?
So I will do background check and find out the reasons behind why the costs are too expensive, because I intend to continue some of his policies. So I will do a background check and find out why the costs are so expensive and try to make it affordable so people can patronize it.
One thing that has occurred over the year is strikes.
Yes.
Strikes by UTAC. And you know that LNUGS oversees the affairs of all students. So students in basic school, students in second cycle institutions, and students in tertiary institutions. Did you see if there are strikes in UHAS, how can the local NUGS help the situation?
If there is strike in UHAS, so all UHAS lectures are going on strike. Is that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So as a local news president, I will consult other executives, the SRC president. I will consult the SRC president and ask him what can we do to what can we do about the plight of our students, because as the lectures are on strike, it is affecting our academics. So I will have a concession with the other executives. Then we will try and talk to the lecturers to see if they can have mercy on us and help us for the meantime.
But you know, they're going on strike. If they come back to teach you, they are disobeying their national body.
That is why I was asking if it was only UHAS lecturers.
Okay, they are disobeying their local body. So what do you have to do about it?
So if it is national, or if all the lecturers are on strike, then I think as a news president, I will have to look for the stand of the national NUGS and stand with them.
You wrote in your curriculum vitae that you are energetic self-starter. What does that mean, please?
An energetic self, yeah. It means I'm a strong person. Yeah.
In what sense, please? I want to understand what energetic self-starter is.
I'm a strong person in the sense that whatever that I do, I do it with a lot of energy. Yeah, I do it with a lot of energy. Yeah, whatever that I do it with energy.
Okay, my last question before you. So, what initiative have you started as a student to solve some of the issues you have raised in your manifesto?
Okay. So, as a student, I have moved to all the hostels on campus. And I have realized that in all the hostels that I have been, in their various rooms, they do not have enough, they do not have chairs in their room. They do not have chairs in their room. So the initiative was, I started moving around to see what is the problem, because I realized most of the students often come to campus to study and move back to their hostels late in the evening, which was a security threat. So the initiative was to find out why most of them are on campuses in the evening and move back to their hostels around 12. Then the hostels too are far. So I wanted to find out why. So I moved to all the hostels. So this is one of the reasons to...
Just an intersection, a follow-up. So you attributed that problem with the lack of chairs in the hostel. Lack of tables and chairs in the hostel.
It's one of them.
One of them.
Yes, it's one of the major.
So do you know that we have day and night? That you can use your day to study and the night to also rest?
That's one. You see, most people have preferences.
Very good. So if it's the person's choice to come to campus and study in the evening, like, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, if it's the person's choice.
If it's the person's choice, how then are you going to solve that problem? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because some people want to study in the day, others want to study in the night, and it all comes with its disadvantages.
Sure.
I hope you are getting it. So if the person chooses that night, then how are you going to take that?
So that is why I asked most of them, and the reasons they gave me for coming at night was related to the chair. But we cannot change individual preferences. So in this work, whatever that you will do, some people will have their own way of doing things. So those individual preferences, I cannot change about it. But what I can do is to look at the population. So the number of people who will resist from the threats after we have had enough chairs in the hostels.
What's the name of the local NUGS president in Hohoe?
Local newspaper, okay. Mr. Enam Amwabin Ebenezer.
Okay, and who is the national NUGS president?
This I do not know.
You don't- Do you know when he come into office, you'll be working with him?
That is when he is still in office. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Desmond, right?
Sir.
I have a couple of questions for you. All right, so how many times have you been to parliament? Like a parliamentary sitting?
I've not been there.
You are vying for the office of local NUGS president, and you've never been to parliament before. Okay. I wanted to ask you, what is the current issue, or what are some of the issues that NUGS is facing with regards to the parliament? But since you said you've never, that's fine. Okay. What is the core mandate of local NUGS?
So the core mandate of local NUGS, according to UHAS SRC Constitution, is to steer or oversee the external.
Good. So now I'm giving you this preamble. I want it to be practical. Now, the Graduate Students Association. Oh, you don't have to write.
Okay.
The Graduate Students Association of UHAS, that's GRASAG, right, are having an issue with, let's say, administration, and it's affecting students, right? Is it in the jurisdiction of NUGS to engage them?
Yes.
Why?
Because NUGS is about the welfare of students. And the alumni, the alumni, they have 2 years after completing to still be part of
It's
the
okay,
NUGS.
that's fine. So in your CV, let's go to your CV. You said that, where is it? Yeah, you said that your skills, planning and coordinating, communication skills. All right. So who are those responsible for communication in the UHAS SRC? With regards to the students, engaging the students and all that. Who are those responsible? The NUGS is responsible for communicating to the students. Is responsible, the NUGS president is responsible. The NUGS has a communications officer. I'm saying the UHAS SRC, you are saying national NUGS. He's the only one who is responsible for communication. Who is the current editorial chairperson of the UHAS SRC? You don't know. Who is the current PRO of the SRC? Of the SRC. Why there's a PRO for Hohoe and there's a PRO for Hohoe? Are you agreeing that there's a PRO for Hohoe and there's a PRO for Hohoe? So who is the current PRO of the UHAS SRC? I'm asking because you said communication skills is one of your, and then in one of your, in your delivery to answering some of the questions, you said that you improve the media, how NUGS engages with the students via the media. That is why I'm asking all this question, because if you do that, you have to work with all these people. You don't know.
That's why the...
do you know the PRO?
No, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, that's fine. So I want to give you this thing to do for me. So let's say the NUGS dinner. You heard of the NUGS dinner, right? What do you think of it? Did you have any issues with regards to the NUGS dinner?
No, please.
You didn't have any issues with regards to the NUGS dinner?
Yeah.
Did you hear people didn't get food during the dinner?
Actually, I couldn't come.
You couldn't come?
Yes.
And you didn't follow up on what happened to the dinner that you would come and take over and also organize? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Esimeni, right? Yeah. 3 very short and like questions, not so difficult. So first up, if you're elected as the local NUGS president, Hohoe campus, are you part of parliament?
Yes, please.
Great. So you're part of parliament. Per the SRC constitution, do you know the number of years to take for the SRC constitution to be amended?
No, please.
No. So you don't know the amendment process, do you?
Yes, I do not.
You don't know. I'm done.
Mr. Desmond, please, I want to ask you, do you know the current Vice Chancellor for UHAS?
Yes, please.
Please, can you mention the person's name?
Professor Lydia Aziato.
This again?
Professor Lydia Aziato.
Oh, okay, that's correct. Now, UHAS was established based on an act of parliament. Please, can you tell me?
At 8 to 8.
In which year?
2011.
Oh, okay. Now, you said local NUGS, they are working outside the campus. That's external affairs. But if you look at some of your policies you brought to us, it's like you are taking the work of the SRC. But you said you went to the hostels and you find out that they are not having chairs or the chairs are not adequate. That's why they come to campus to learn. Please, that's part of your core mandate.
So the mandates of NUGS are many. So the NUGS has a lot of functions. So the SRC, the external affairs is the major, but there are other functions that the NUGS play. And the NUGS is to ensure that the rights of students and the interests of students are achieved. So this, with my policies, are in the interest of students. So I am trying to promote the interest of students because this is what they have told me, a problem they are facing.
Oh, okay. And then in your policy section, that's point 1, effective teaching and learning process. You stated something that we must accept finite disappointments, but never lose infinite hope. I don't understand that point. Can you explain it further?
So I meant that with the issue of projectors and chairs, I'm not the first person to start the advocacy. People have tried and people are still trying. So there has been disappointments, but that doesn't mean that we should stop. So we should press on. That is what it means. We should press on so that we shall achieve the...
Oh, okay. So now we know that people have tried and they didn't prevail. So you are also going to what? Keep on
I'll,
trying.
yeah.
So since now you are working as an external affairs of the school, what new thing are you going to bring, or what innovative ideas are you going to bring so that this will be the last time we are going to press on such issues?
Okay. So one thing that I have in mind is that, first of all, it is about unity. So I will collaborate with all the executives first. Then we would find out the root cause of the whole problem, why people are not able to do it. So we will try to find out the root cause. And when we are able to identify the root cause, then we will know how we will go about it.
So does it mean your predecessors never find out the root cause?
If they did, they didn't communicate to us.
If they did, they never communicated to us.
Yes.
But you still have the problem. So per what you are saying, meaning they never did any background checks.
I am not saying that.
But per what you said.
But if the problem persists, and that's why I said that I'll do a background check. Then after we will do follow up.
Oh, okay, now the problem is still persisting.
Yeah.
How are you going to do a background check?
So they are the executives that they are going. Most of them are not left. Those that they will be leaving, they will be still on campus. So we will have a chat with them with the issue of the predicted. So, Mr. President, this one I know you. What prevented you from doing this? Why were you not able to do this? Then we'll find out the issues.
Find out the issues.
Yes, what is preventing.
Okay. Another thing the local news normally do is to liaise with other sponsors. I was expecting to say, okay, since they've tried severally and then it's not working, maybe I'll also look for what? External help. So that maybe this company or this person may donate these kind of issues that we're having. So they'll donate to support maybe the projectors and then the chairs.
So I have had that idea, but while I was conversing with one of the executives, they told me that before you get an external support, still the administration must approve it. So even if you get somebody to support you, they might not approve. That is why I am withholding that ideology. But it was something I had
Who
in
said
mind.
that? Who told you that the administration will approve?
I didn't say no. I didn't say the administration will not approve. I said they might.
They might. Please, have you ever attended any of the local NUGS dinner nights and awards?
No.
No. So mean you don't have any idea about how it is being organized?
The dinner.
Yeah.
I've not attended the show yet.
So right now, if you come into power, and I know that you don't attend such things, and I influence my friends, when you organize it, which people will attend? Since we have never seen you there before.
Oh. The fact that I've not been there before doesn't mean people will not attend. Actually, people are interested in the dinner program, so definitely they will come.
So does it mean you are not interested?
My interest is not much in the dinner.
So it means when you come, because you don't have interest in the dinner night and dinner and awards night, you organize such
No,
program?
because I cannot stop a tradition. It is something that goes on. So I cannot stop a tradition. So
Okay.
it shall continue.
Earlier you said the current local NUGS they organize such things like birth sets, registration, passport, and stuff. And you say the student populace didn't patronize it much because it was expensive. So I'm going to make you come and then do some background checks and then adjust certain things.
Yes, please.
So what if by next year, I know things will increase prices. So now that it is 200 and something, let's say 250 cedis, and you go there and they say it's 350, what are you going to do about it?
So I will look for subsidies. Like I will look for help from other people and make sure that the prices are what it is. I will not add anything to it, neither will I deduct something from it.
So what is the meaning of subsidies if you are not going to deduct anything from it?
Sorry for that answer. I'm sorry. Let me organize myself. So I will look for subsidies, right? But so that I will cushion the students.
I didn't force you to say it. You look for what? Other alternatives so that you subsidize the
Yes, please.
So what if you come and then that doesn't happen? What should we do to you?
Then I will be honest with the people that this is the situation at hand. When I went to the markets, these are the prices for passport registration and birth cert registration. So interested persons who want to register your passports and your birth certs, these are the prices on the market. So if you are interested, you will come, and if you are not interested, then you will find support elsewhere.
Okay.
So I'll be honest with the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asemini Desmond, for gracing today. But before you leave, we would like to know whether the audience have any question for you. Just a question.
Okay, Mr. President Hopeful, when you came, you said you are a very decisive person. Decisive. That means you have the ability to decide quickly. Now, you have proposed something to the SRC, and your decision is being ignored. How would that affect your office? Thank you.
I have proposed a policy to the SRC, and they've ignored my decision. So I will seek for clarification and explanation. Why have you abandoned what I have proposed to you? So I will seek for clarifications to find out whether what I proposed was in line or not. Then I will come up again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asemini. Please, do you have any words for the panel?
Oh, I appreciate the hearing. I appreciate the fact that you gave me opportunity and you heard me out. So I thank you very much for a cordial conversation.
Thank you. So kindly turn to the camera and say a few words to the people watching you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen and people worldwide watching me this very day, I am Asemini Desmond, and I am an aspirant for local LNUGS president, and I believe that should I qualify for this vacancy in the coming election, you should do well and vote for me so I can be your next president. Thank you.
I'm running from the local NUGS president for Hohoe campus. Yes, please.
You're welcome, Mr. Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I think that it's a level 200 disease control student. It's a humble, passionate student. Believe in teamwork and believe that no man is an island who requires someone to learn something from. So with that, it believes that you learn from those who are higher above you and learn from those who are with the necessary skills in the right professions. Eric have a good communication skills and writing skills, and then has some few computer IT skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eric.
Thank you, Master Chairman.
Before I give the opportunity to my panel members to continue with asking questions, I'll go straight to your CV. So you've stated a lot of things here.
Yes.
Experience, National Academy of Student Achievement Awards, UHAS NMC chapter. You've been a junior Grand Knight, deputy Grand Knight. You've been a teacher. You've been a sales executive agent, among other things. So with all this information, who do we verify it from? Because you've not stated any referees on your curriculum vitae.
Okay. All right, then 40 at that point.
Pardon?
40 at that point.
You're 40 at that point?
Yes, sir.
So can I take it that when you come in, you'll be diligent with the duties of the local NUGS president?
That isn't the issue. No, at all.
So how will you convince me that what you have done will not replicate in your tenure of office?
Yes. So with the error on my CV, I think would have been an error from me, and then shouldn't mean that is who I am. It could be a typing error from maybe whoever was creating this for me, or it's a script. But that does not mean that a mistake realized should be continued. As human beings, we should learn from mistakes and make sure the next actions we take, we should work on such mistakes. So in the future, Mr. Master Chairman, you're not expecting that from me.
So that means you didn't cross-check what was...
I did.
You did. And you decided to overlook it?
Not that. Good afternoon, Master William. I'm doing well, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, please. Master Enam Abache. Ababen, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have a personal relationship with him?
Okay, so I would say I can relationship with him, knowing him here. Maybe as friends, as colleagues, as students. Yeah, I have a relationship with him.
So have you made background checks concerning the local NUGS in Hohoe here?
Yes,
and
I did.
Has he outlined some challenges they face?
Yes.
What are some of the challenges?
The challenges, okay, so pertaining to the student body, as a member of parliament with the SRC, some of the main challenges he spoke to me about with how you get funds to run projects. Yeah, simple as that.
Is that the only challenge they face?
Yeah, so far, if I can remember.
And then from your policy, I've seen that you want to organize this kind of seminars.
Yes.
Here in Hohoe.
Yes.
And then you know that this place, such activities, students don't patronize them.
Fairly, we will say a percentage do not. Some do.
But more, like over 80% don't patronize such.
Can't firmly say that over 80%, since there is no data analysis to show that.
Oh, okay. SPHA, we are almost 1,000.
Okay.
When you organize such programs, you realize that those who are attending are not really up to 200.
Yeah.
That's why I said that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now you said in your CV, the skills aspect, you said stakeholder relationship. And then just a moment ago, you said the previous, the current president told you that they face challenges in getting funds. So what are the things you are going to do so that you won't face such challenges when you come?
All right. So it's all about the timely presentation of your budget. I believe that when such budgets reach the right authorities will work as early as possible. So if you present your budget late, maybe that will be a fault from your side. And also, you just presenting your budget to someone does not mean the person is up the game. You should at least do a follow-up game or a follow-up step, because we are all humans. We may forget some things sometimes. So me, as Eric, what I will do is to do a frequent follow-up on certain things. Yeah.
So what's the source of funding for the local news?
So stated in the UHAS constitution, it says that the local news get 15% of the funds that are allocated for a campus which they reside in.
So when you talk about local news, can you tell me some of local news presidents? What are the core mandates of a local news president?
The core mandate of a local news president is to serve as a link between the SRC of their campus and the National Executive Board of LNUGS.
Now you stated that you ensure that information from the NEC will reach the student populace on timely basis. Now you got the information and you pass it on to your secretary to disseminate the information. And as you said, as we humans, we do forget sometimes. And your secretary waited for maybe 2 weeks before he disseminates the information. In that case, the information wasn't timely disseminated. What are you going to do about that?
She should be sanctioned and warned.
Sanctioned?
Yeah, whoever is he, she or he. But I don't think 2 weeks is of too much maximum time. If an information should delay for more than a day or two or close to a week, that means I'm not doing my work. I've given her information and I expect such information to be given out in time. So if such information are not given within the duration I have specified, I should be able to talk with the secretary to do such things within the specific time.
Oh, okay. I want to ask you, do you know the current local news president, national?
National, yes, please.
Please, what's his name?
Master Dennis Appiah.
Dennis Appiah.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Mr. Heflide, how are you doing?
I'm fine, sir.
Yeah, so first off, I think I need to commend you. I really like the policy documents presented, well articulated, kind of easy to read and easy to understand. Well done on that.
Thank you,
but
sir.
then again, as a president, you would be representing the institution wherever you find yourself.
Yes.
So in as much as I think it's a good document, there are some small hitches which shouldn't happen.
All right.
So per your age, you are not master, you are mister.
Okay.
Right.
Thank
and then
you.
on your CV, WASI, double S, not one S. Okay.
Thank
Yes, we look at everything. You
All
are
right.
representing us, okay? So local news hopper, it's you.
Yeah.
So once you make a mistake, like president, so
Yeah.
you get that.
Thank
Great.
you, thank you.
Okay, so just to sort of like a flow up. So you did mention, just as my colleague, you mentioned that if an information should delay in reaching the student's body within a certain time frame, which you mentioned, is it a day or two, getting to a week, it means you failed. You've not done your work right, right? You said it means that you as a president, you are not doing your work well.
Yes, but I think stated I failed.
Great.
Thank you.
So currently, no, not currently. Did you current local NUGS dinner? You heard about it, right?
Yes.
Did you hear some of the concerns some people raised?
Before or during or after?
After the dinner, did you hear of any concerns from the student body?
Not here, but I experienced myself. I was present there.
Oh, okay, sure. So, are you personally aware, or are you in the known that some students claim they didn't get their awards?
They didn't get their awards?
Yes, some awards.
Okay, I heard that claim.
You heard that claim?
Yes.
Okay. And are you in the known that on that award page, they were made to know that they would reach out to them? I mean, they would tell them something. In about 3 or 4 weeks, nothing was communicated to them.
No, that information is not known to me.
That information is not known to you. Okay. Sure. So let's just assume. Okay, we are assuming.
Okay.
In such an instance, assuming that it was made like nothing, no claim after some, like there was no form of explanation from the current local NUGS executive members, and then nothing of that sort have happened. In the spirit of what you said, that if information delays based on a certain period of time, that means you've not done your work well. In that spirit, would you say, assuming that indeed it happened, that they didn't tell them anything, would you say that the current NUGS executive have failed in their mandate?
No, I would not say.
Based on, like in the spirit of the answer you gave to my colleague, when he asked about the secretary not disseminating information on time. I'm not drilling you.
Okay.
Like, we want to prove that you are a credible candidate to the whole student populace, right? And I just want that correlation, because you said one thing at one point in time.
Yeah.
I just need to know if you would be consistent in that. So we assume, we are not saying it's true or it's false. We are assuming.
Oh yeah, I just want to take my time and make sure I present the precise answer to you.
Sure.
As a loose executive board, whoever may be below me, we are one people. So if one is at fault, it shows we are all at fault. But I will not say we have failed. The specific word being used, I will not say that.
Okay, sure. Next up, if you should get opportunity to be elected as local NUGS president, right?
Yeah.
You would have an automatic spot in UHAS SRC Parliament, true or false?
True.
Good. With that being said, do you know the amendment processes as stipulated in the UHAS SRC Constitution?
Amendment process.
Yes, of the Constitution. As you want to amend any part of the Constitution, do you know the processes involved? I'm asking this question based on the fact that you would be a parliamentarian once you win it. So in relation, I'm just assessing you for that office of local NUGS secretary stroke, being a parliamentarian of UHAS SRC. Do you know, yes or no?
Sincerely speaking, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Great. Last question, then we move on. Currently, there's this school of thought that the local NUGS, right, is one secretariat or is one avenue for amassing wealth. There's a notion, we don't know if it's true or false. So the question that follows is, do you, Mr. Eric Heflide, have a personal interest in being the local NUGS president for Hohoe campus?
Yes.
You have a personal interest?
Personal?
Yes. Do you have a personal interest?
No.
You don't have any personal interest?
Personal interest?
Yes.
No.
You don't have any personal interest? Okay, so let's assume, again, we're in a hypothetical world. You're a debater, so you understand that. So don't make it look like I'm saying a lot of things.
All right, what's that?
So someone presents the same policy document, right? In fact, let me say it's even better than yours. Clear indication how to execute each and every one. We've assessed it. It's feasible. It's practical. You understand feasibility. You understand practicality. Again, you're a debater.
Yes, I understand it.
It's practical. It's feasible. The person is competent enough to do it. Okay? You don't have any personal interest. Would you step down and say that let the second party take over?
All right. Me being the local NUGS president, I'm not going there on a personal power. These are the voice of my people.
You didn't get me. You are in to serve, right? You don't have any personal interest.
Yes.
Great. So you are in to serve.
Yes.
But then there's someone also, a party B. Very good. Has all the competence. Like, can do everything in this hypothetical world of ours. Right? You don't have any personal interest. So you just want to, do these things. This person is going to do them in any way. So I'm asking, would you step down?
Step down?
Yes. Step down in the run for this office, for this person to do it, since you have no personal interest.
Is that other person also having a personal interest?
Pardon?
Is the other person having a personal interest?
Yes, the other person has a personal interest.
So in my word, I will not step down.
Why?
Because I'm there to serve the people, and the people need the right people to serve them.
So am I right to say
Mhm.
that you have a personal interest? Because if you want to serve and we are giving you a chance not to serve, because serving is work.
Oh yes.
You don't get paid.
Uh-huh.
But then the reason why you think you can do the job is because you feel like
Mhm.
I'm not saying that hypothetically you feel like you can do it. But then there's someone who can do it. So what's the sense of it even coming in for you in the first place? Do you get it?
I get you. All right.
So, in as much as it's a vetting, it's also a learning platform. There is nothing wrong to say, there's nothing wrong when you say you have a personal interest. I am the current Gouda Council chairman because I have a personal interest. Why? I want my CV to be nice. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with having a personal interest. So it's always safer to say you have a personal interest and justify why that personal interest is in relation to servitude and all that. Great.
Okay. Mr. Eric.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
So, we're going to do this brief and quick. I mean, for someone who loves design and things related to, I'm actually impressed with how your work is presented. It's very good. But then, first off, why put the logos of the UHAS SRC, the logo of UHAS itself, fine, you're a stakeholder student, and the LNUGS on your policy document. At the same time, you use the logo to make it look like a letterhead when you've not been elected into office yet. You know, these are editorial issues.
Yeah.
And you should be very abreast with them. Anyway, before I continue, who is the current editorial chairperson of the UHAS?
I have no idea.
I have no idea, that's fine. So, do you have any question? Any come back to why you are using their logos? I mean, it makes it nice. I must commend you, but
yes.
You know, copyright-wise,
yeah, I get.
That's wrong.
I get your point.
All right, thank you. So, knowing very well, once you are elected, you'll be joining the parliamentarians in parliament. How many times have you been to a parliamentary sitting yourself of the UHAS SRC parliament?
Okay, I've not been there before. No.
Why?
Okay, I could say sometimes pertains to the distance from here to there. From Hohoe to Hohoe. I mean, if I should personally agree to come, I have to put every expenses on myself.
Are you aware of the
yes.
media outlet on campus?
The media
outlet on campus?
Yes, I'm aware. The UHAS-based TV.
UHAS-based
yes,
TV. You know UHAS-based TV project and
yes, I get you.
Streams the UHAS every parliamentary sitting. So how does distance come in? If you can't be present in person, why not just stream?
Oh, okay. So I was actually responding in response to your stated words.
Right.
Have I been present there? Yes, I'm responding to what is stated.
Been present in parliamentary sitting.
Okay.
All right. So, given that, so you know the local news is in charge of external affairs.
Yes, yes.
Engaging GRASAC, do you think is an external affair?
Engaging GRASAC. Yeah, Graduate Association.
Yeah, Graduate Student Association.
Students Association.
Ghana, the UHAS chapter.
UHAS chapter.
Do you think it has to do with, because GRASAC, would you consider GRASAC part of UHAS SRC?
Not at all. Because I would think the GRASAC also have their own way of operating things. Since we run the undergraduate program.
I said
engaging GRASAC as an external affair.
Would you consider that an external affair?
Not entirely an external affair.
Entirely?
Not entirely.
Not entirely. Yes. Where not entirely means? Okay, that's fine. So, with regards to communication, I mean, I'm a person who really loves communication and engagement. Who are the people responsible for communication in the UHAS SRC?
The public relations officers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Only them?
No. Secretaries of the various presidents.
Only them.
When it comes to communication, the president himself is also responsible for communication.
The president is responsible for communication.
The president can also speak when issues are beyond his subjects. So he finds a slot in communication.
So is he responsible for public engagement?
Not entirely.
Is the editorial committee responsible for public engagement?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then my final question.
All right.
Do you think executives of students' body, because in answering one of his questions with respect to whether you have a personal interest, you said you want to serve, right? But do you think in your bid to serve, you should be paid?
Oh, yes.
Why? Because you don't have a personal interest, right?
I was corrected.
Do you have a personal interest?
I was educated.
So being educated now, do you have a personal interest?
Yes, I do.
What is your personal interest for running for the office of local NUGS president?
No, I'm processing my thoughts.
Don't worry. But you should know that we are time bound too.
I'm aware. All right, so my personal interest is to actually make known my beliefs and then personal capabilities. And also to impact the little lives I can.
So in the bid to impact and make known your beliefs, you think you should be paid for that? All right, thank you. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mr. Eric?
Yes.
On your CV, you stated that you worked as a sales executive agent.
Yes.
At Quality Life Assurance Company.
Yeah.
Okay. What skill have you gained over the years there, or over the period you served there? And how are you going to apply them to the position of the local NUGS president?
Good communication skills, and also be able to sell out the products that I have or the ideas I have to the benefit of my people.
How are you going to sell that, whatever idea or product you are having to the people?
Yes.
Because as one of the panel members stated, students do not patronize events. So how are you going to ensure that they come for events or whatever thing you are trying to sell to them, or they buy whatever thing you are trying to sell to them?
Right. So students should know the benefits that they will get from such activities. So we do analysis and then we produce evidences of what such programs have produced in other worlds and what it will do in our world.
So I want you to list 2 failures of the previous administration that you have noticed.
2 failures of the previous administration that have noticed.
Of the current administration.
Current administration.
The people you want to take over from, what do you think they failed at? Just 2 of them.
Just 2. Okay, so with the failure, I can't state they failed. But there was this policy which talk about Spanish class. In the process, in the course,
is it
Spanish classes for student body.
Okay.
In the process, I think they released flyers. Social media platforms were shared for students to join. I believe students have joined. But as of now, I've not really seen the full impact of it. So I would say an action has been taken, but maybe it was just not well implemented. I think I've only one to speak up.
Also, you've done a lot of things here.
Yes.
Okay. What are the challenges you've identified with the student populace?
As stated by the first speaker. Yeah.
I didn't get you.
As stated by Mr. William.
What did he state? We want you to state in clear terms.
been clear
Yes.
on the student body.
Yes.
Their failure to turn out for programs.
That is the only thing you've identified with the student body. That they have their failure to attend program. That is the only thing that you've identified with the student body. Well, I think, let me reframe it. What are the things you've identified that affect students? Let me just
That affects students.
Yes, please.
On campus.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I think maybe this may be beyond, outside my bounds, but one main challenge students on whole campus face is a lack of projectors.
Lack of projectors.
Yes. And then the long distances our freshers have to walk from their various hostels to here. And then the problems of accommodation that the continuing students need to face. Those who have already gotten accommodations, the headaches they have to go through with their landlords and landladies. Those are the three main challenges I have identified.
Okay. So, you have stated the challenges.
Yes.
As a student, what have you done about these challenges? What have you done to help mitigate these challenges? Or because you're a student, you don't care about them? So you get to the position of local NUGS president before you can affect the students' lives. What have you done so far about these challenges?
If I could cast my mind back, I think my first level here in the school, I came and meet the problem of a projector. So few colleagues of mine in the other level raised the concern, and they asked me to join hands together to consult the authorities, of which I endorsed their idea to push forward this in order for it to be accomplished. For the authorities to know that yes, the student body, a single member in the school, is also aware of such problem.
What did it result in?
It has not resulted as we wish. But the school authorities assured us they are putting plans in place to mitigate that.
Okay, so you're coming in as a local NUGS president. So if your policies or something you are trying to push doesn't get the needed results and your arrest assured, that's the end. The policy dies a natural death.
Now, it should not die there.
So what will you do about it? I want to know, like, what will you do?
If I have, or I was pushing for that during my tenure of office, and it happened, unfortunately, that I had to end without accomplishing that. Maybe other people that may take my part, my position, I should educate them on that, yes, this is a problem we as a collective society are aware of. So we need to still push in for them. My tenure of office ending does not mean my idea should die, but it should be transferred to a greater generation.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking all these questions is because number one, it started advancing and tightening the scholarship secretariat to the timely and frequent dissemination of scholarship opportunities. So if you go to the scholarship secretariat and they say, oh, Mr. Heflide, have I pronounced it right?
Yes, you don't worry about it.
We've been, and you go there and they say, oh, don't be rest assured, the scholarships will come. Be rest assured, the scholarships will come. And be rest assured, and it's 1 year, no scholarship. What happens then?
As I said earlier, it does not die there.
At the end of 1 year, students have not received their scholarship. How are you going to ensure that they still get the scholarship they need? And mind you, some have to register for end of semester exams.
Yes.
Some have to register for other things. If they don't register, they don't write the exams. So how are you going to ensure that? Because I don't want an issue where you come into office and they said, oh, we can't solve your problem and that is the end. So how are you going to ensure that you push through this to get students? Because if a student should miss his end of semester exams, he's going to write a supplementary exam. You see, but as local NUGS, there's an opportunity for you to help the student by giving the student a scholarship. So how are you going to ensure that that doesn't happen?
Okay. All right. So first of all, it depends on my action how I approach such an issue. If I should approach the scholarship secretariat and then I found out that what I wish for wouldn't be acquired within the time space which I wish other bodies should be reached out to, other people that may help to actually speed up the process should be reached out to. I may not be able to do it alone. My voice may not be able to do it alone. But the voice of someone higher than me may be of help. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll start with, what is a secretariat?
So a secretariat is a body that handles or that is geared towards a vision.
So the scholastic secretariat is a body that deals with issues involving scholarship.
Yes.
Do you have authority over them?
Do I have authority over them?
Over them.
My duties, as I've read about, I don't know I have an authority over
You
them.
have no scholarship secretariat?
Yes.
Do you have any duties over them? Yes or no?
No.
So why are you saying advancing entitlement, the scholarship secretariat? You don't have any duty over them. So why are you saying you are advancing entitlement?
What I mean to communicate there.
Mm-hmm. You should be very careful with your words.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Is to advance and tighten my relationship with them.
But there's no relationship. Because I checked your transcript. Academic writing, first semester, you had A. Academic writing 2, you had B+. So please, be careful with your words. That's why I say be careful.
Thank you, sir.
So you don't have any authority. That means policy number 1 it's not a policy. Because actually you don't have any control over them.
Okay.
So you should cancel it out.
Thank you.
Okay. Then, still with the academic writing, you have something called topic sentence. Right? Every paragraph or something should have a topic sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Where every sentence in that paragraph should explain the topic sentence, right? Because you did academic communicative skill 2, and that is what it's about. You did it, right?
Yes, I did.
Good. So, point policy 4, this is what you said, and I think that is the topic sentence. Ensuring timely dissemination of vital information from the neck of NUGS to the students by establishing good rapport with the national executive. Now, the sentence that explains what it's trying to. This will allow faster communication between the national executive and the local NUGS. You are saying it's between the students and the NEC, but your second sentence is between you and the local and the national. How does that explain the first point you've made?
All right.
So, no, do you agree the first line is the topic sentence?
I agree.
And do you agree that all other sentence should explain what the topic sentence is about?
Exactly.
So then, how are you going to disseminate the information to the student? Because that is the aim, from NEC to student. But you are saying to establish good rapport between the NEC and the NUGS. That's the second statement, which contradicts the first, or does not explain the first.
All right, so stated there.
So I want to, do you agree that you have not fully, the other supporting sentences are not supporting your topic sentence?
I wish I could just.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I have a spare this thing though. Oh, it's not there.
Oh, you can come for one. Oh.
Thank you.
Let me read it again. Maybe you think I'm reading something else. Ensuring timely dissemination of vital information from the neck of NUGS to students by establishing good rapport with the national executive. This will allow faster communication between the national executive and the local NUGS. Your main aim in that topic is to bridge the gap between the neck and the student body. So how does your supporting sentence support that? Okay, so then the question is, assuming I'm taking it, because that is not actually a full policy name, but if you are supposed to disseminate information to students after receiving, which you've not stated how, so I'm asking you now, how are you going to deliver them? Yes, please. How? So mention them. I don't want theoretical. This is this. There's A, there is B, there is C, there is D. I'll give the information to them. Make sure that they do it. Don't say their bodies. What are the bodies? Be specific, please. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how are they going to share it to the course rep?
most of our
So you know that you didn't
information.
mention the social media platforms because there are emails,
Yeah.
text message.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to tell me something like that.
All right, all right,
Okay,
all right.
so now let's go back.
Thank
You said NUGS is allocated 15%
Yes,
of the money to a particular campus.
yes.
So because it's 15%, you can go to Parliament and tell them, constitution say 15%, so give it to me. How are they going to get the money, that 15%?
That depends on what the SRC can produce.
That's what they...
It depends on what the SRC allocates to the campus.
But you know that the constitution says that you have to present your activities, your budget to them, for them to approve,
Yes.
before they give you the money.
Yeah, so if my budgets fall within such ranges, I hope I should be given.
So when they ask you your source of funds, I want to ask you that what are the processes involved in getting funds for your institution, your secretariat?
All right, so the UHAS SRC has a treasury committee. So, let's say a treasury committee or a finance committee or, sorry.
Please.
All right, so the right committee that handles the finances of the SRC.
What is that right committee?
Think?
Because you're going to work. The moment you're going to channel your
Yes.
budget to them. So you're supposed to know these ones.
Yeah, so I made mention of
Let me mention of anything.
a treasury committee earlier. There is
The
nothing of
constitution-
that
I
sort.
don't know any part of the constitution where there's a treasure committee.
Or a finance committee, or should I say?
Okay, so let's continue.
Right.
You mentioned that you are going to help in the coordination and facilitating of smooth running of processes involved in obtaining student loan. You know that student loan now, there's no guarantor.
Yes.
So that was one of the issues that people were facing in getting guarantor. And that's when local news, mostly UHAS, was in getting people to be a guarantor for them. Now that there's no guarantor, what are you going to do in helping them? And I think it's now online also.
Yes, I'm aware it's fully online. I've been with my people, I've lived with them, and I have people that have challenges.
What are some of the challenges?
One, over the holiday, a friend of mine had filled all this, the form online. And then he has to complete a section of the process, which is to go to Hohoe for a biometric registration. He resides in Hohoe. We took a bus from here to my end. Stayed there, I escorted him to the office to get there and then to realize that he can't do the biometric registration on that day. He has to return back to Hohoe and go back the next day.
To do?
So now what I'm going to do is to create an environment where people that have applied for such a trust should be known to NUGS. Where if it is possible for us to bus our students to Hohoe for them to complete their biometric registration. After all, if you need to complete your biometric registration on your portal, the application must be approved before we get there. So it's applied to those who have been approved. So in order to avoid such struggles students go through, or my colleagues go through, is to bus them there. Or if the number isn't huge enough, maybe we could propose to the zonal office to actually bring the biometric registration here to the student on campus.
Has that ever been done? Has it ever been done? Because if there's a zonal office,
yes, I have a reason.
Going to
yes,
Hohoe.
I have a reason for why I said that. Is it?
Where's the zonal office?
It's at Hohoe on Hohoe Technical University
So
campus.
they should carry, because the students are not many, they should rather come.
I said this because I had a
They should
person.
rather come. Is yes or no? No, because you said your students are few, so you can't go.
No, I don't mean they are few.
But
If the students are large enough, okay, that it requires that maybe the odds we've raised up, they come in here, be of more benefit to we the students and they as a body.
how to be a benefit to them? Because if the scholarship, you don't come for it or you come for it, they are paid. So what gives them, what benefit are they getting? And it is even risk, traveling about 2 hours, 30 minutes to Hohoe. Okay, so now let's move on. If Mrs. Jane Mensah is to the Electoral Commission of Ghana, dash is to the Electoral Commission. If Mrs. Jane Mensah is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, then dash is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of UHAS SRC.
Mr. J. Ford. That's sir.
Mr.
Chase Ford. Jexford.
Can you spell?
Jexford.
Spell it.
Jexford. That's sir. Say, am I pronounced well?
Please no. It's Rexford.
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 Oh, sorry.
And I don't see how J and R look alike. I would have pardoned if the letters look alike. Thank you.
Am I well? Listen, I don't get through. I can't state it whether I am.
Okay. Master Eric, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've gone through your CV and I've seen various skills and experiences. So I want you to tell me which of these skills is actually associated or have anything doing with your the portfolio you are paying for. Like, be specific. Out of these skills, tell me which of them is more important to the portfolio you are going for.
Oh, I should have all those things. Oh no, Sam, I won't go for yours again. Thank you. Team building. Team building.
Okay. Why leadership and team building?
With my entry into the university, I've been in several positions to actually organize my friends, to actually expedite academic affairs, especially pertaining to assignments and group works. I've been able to bring my people together, to work together, and do our assignments on timely basis.
So, per your experiences,
Yes.
where did you gain this leadership? Is it leadership team building or leadership and team building?
Leadership and team building. Leadership and team building.
And team building.
Yeah.
So, should I consider it as a mistake?
No, sir. Okay, so I got these skills.
No, let's
Oh, this skill. Is it? Is it?
skills.
The
skills. Leadership team building.
Yes.
So I'm asking if there's supposed to be an N over there or.
Okay, as a human, I may agree there's a mistake.
So you consider it as a mistake?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay, so I'm asking leadership and team building. Which of these experiences, or which of these experiences gave you that particular skills that you are that you have indicated in your CV? Which of these skills, like these experiences?
Yes, when I was a teacher at Holy Spirit Catholic Preparatory School, a class teacher.
A class teacher?
Yes.
Okay, that's all.
And then moving on, as a current junior grand knight of the Junior Knights and Ladies of Marshall. Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Now, I can see numerous experiences, and it seems all of them you are still you are still an active member of this, the deputy organizer, the junior grad night. It seems you are still there, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. So it's about, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
In addition to your academics.
Yeah.
And now you are coming for local news president. How can you manage all this?
I've learned one thing from people that are in higher authorities. One is time management. I believe when I structure my times for the day's war, as I've been doing already, handling such positions, I can still work better in the world of NUGS.
So meaning you have the power to organize all these programs. Let's say if SRC needs you, let's say SRC needs you, and let's say the UHAS NTMC also needs you. All these associations needs you. You can tell them that, oh, okay, UHAS SRC, I'll come at 2 p.m. Okay, I'll come at 3 p.m. Can you do that?
Now, there's one thing you should realize. All these bodies.
Can you do that?
Yes, I can. Please,
You can't do that.
I want. Let's.
No, can you do that? Yes or no?
As a human being,
Can
not a
you
machine,
do that?
I cannot.
Yes or no?
I cannot.
You can't. Right. Good. Now, have you followed UHAS SRC, like this current administration?
Yes, I've been following.
Do you think they have money? Like, they have money now? Do you think they have money in their coffers?
They have money now.
Yes. You said you have been following, right? So do you think they have money?
Okay. I may say no.
Okay, so let's say you are in power, right? And you have money. Let's say you have enough money. Will you consider to give all the executive an ex gratia? And why?
First of all, does the Constitution allow that? That should be the question.
You want to ask me?
Does the Constitution allow an ex gratia for ex-members who have worked for the SRC?
So let's say considering the Constitution allows it, will you give out?
Assuming the Constitution allows it. Since it's illegal, it should be.
So you should have also asked if there are bases on which we shouldn't give out this ex gratia, but you just asked if the Constitution allows it. Should have also asked. Oh. Okay.
Please come again. I wasn't clear with that.
Okay, Mr. Eric.
Yes, Mr. President.
Please, how do you do?
I'm doing.
How do you do?
How do you do too?
Great. I have a few questions that I would want us to speedily go through.
Okay.
I hope you are getting it.
All right, yeah.
The exercise that I'm going to conduct now is to test your ability. Do you get it?
Yeah.
To follow through whatever you have said in your policy document. Do you get it? We don't have right answer. We don't have wrong answer.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes,
So I would
I get
want you to express yourself. Do you get it?
Thank you.
I'm also looking at your policy feasibility. Do you get it? And your ability to answer questions objectively. I hope you are following me.
Yeah.
So it's not, there are no other intentions attached to it. Can we go on?
Yes.
We can start.
Yes.
Beautifully. So the first one is, what are your sources of authority? What is your source of authority as a local NUGS president? What is the source of your authority? Yes.
As the local NUGS president.
Yes, please. You know, in the dispensation of your duty,
yes,
you should have a backing. You can't just go somewhere and do whatever you want. So what is the source of your authority? In whose name, in what name are you going to dispense your duty?
Yeah, so the source of my authority is the legal document of the SRC.
Which
the
is?
UHAS SRC.
Which is?
The SRC Constitution.
Very good. So your source of authority is the SRC Constitution. Beautifully. Now, a follow-up. It's a preamble. So I would want you to answer if yes or no. I wouldn't want you to say, I should come again. So listen to it.
All right.
Well, I hope you are getting it. Beautiful. Do you think leaders that hold office should focus on their main aim? Do you think leaders that hold office should focus on their main aim? or core objective solely for which they are in service for?
No.
Do you think leaders, listen to the question
Yes.
very well. Do you think leaders that are in a particular office, do you get it? So assuming you are the local NUGS president, do you think that as such a leader, you should focus on the reason why you are in that office?
Yes, I should.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
So looking at your CV, you have my copy there. You could see the current positions you are holding. I must commend you for holding such positions. Do you get it? They are worth emulating. You are holding 4 positions. Which of them do you think you have served in your best ability? The current ones.
As a junior graduate, the deputy organizer.
What we are doing, the entire student populace are looking at it. And the people that you have served are also looking at you.
Yes.
I'm also establishing credibility. Do you get it?
Yes.
Very good. So which of them, please?
Yes, the junior graduate, and then the deputy organizer of UHAS NMTS chapter.
So you agreed with my first statement that leaders should focus on the objective to which they hold the office for.
Yeah.
Yes. So don't you think that since you are serving that portfolio very well, you should focus on that and to do your best for that portfolio other than coming for this local NUGS position? Don't you think so? That you should focus on that and serve it very well, because I believe you are doing extremely well in that position. So why would you want to add, or why would you want to leave that position and come for this or add this in addition to that?
All right. So just adding, because I believe my skills can make an impact in this world also.
But you are making an impact also there. Are you trying to tell me that your work there is done?
My work there is not done.
It's not done.
Yes.
So why won't you focus all your resources there so that you can achieve maximum impact other than coming for this portfolio? Are you power drunk or power driven?
No.
So
not at all.
if you have these 4 portfolios, why wouldn't you focus? Because I believe you have more energy. Do you get it? And you have more resources. That is why you want to add this. But why don't you channel those resources into improving that position that you are already occupying so that you would scale it times 200 if you are doing it times 100 now?
All right. So I'm not power driven.
So why? Why won't you focus on that and you want to add this to it?
It's just a deeper feeling that...
So you no longer have a deeper feeling for that position?
I do. For those positions also.
Yes. So
it is time to also channel such energies I have to benefit people in such way also. Because the world I'm serving in...
I may cut you intermittently if I get your answer so that we don't waste each other's time.
All right.
So I'm trying to say that you have a position that you are occupying.
Yes.
Do you get it? And you are coming for this too. So my question is, why won't you focus there? So right now, if you are working 100% efficiently over there, and you focus this energy you want for the NUGS over there, it means that you'll be working 200%. Do you get it? So why don't you want to achieve that feat other than distributing your resources across?
I'm already achieving a feat there.
So why don't you want it times 2 over there? Because you're efficiently working well. Yeah, so why? It's safe to say you don't have the answer. Let's move on. Your policies, okay?
Yeah.
Policy document 4. How are you going to ensure that let's look at it. I've underlined it in the one that you
I think I've submitted it, but don't worry, let's just stop. Just make reference to it.
Your policies. Okay. Ensuring timely dissemination of information. Ensuring timely dissemination of vital information from the neck of the national UHAS.
That's okay.
Do you get it? How are you going to achieve that?
I think my supporting statement came again
By
building
establishing good rapport.
good rapport.
So how are you going to establish the good rapport?
Now, I'm aware UHAS or LNUGS have an annual national congress. This is a way to get in touch with such national executives. This is where we all meet together. So if I should have the chance to be present, which I hope I'll be present, it's about me relating with them, talking with them, making myself known with them.
The question is,
building.
how are you going to get the information? So let's assume you have the rapport.
All right,
how
so
are you going to get it?
building a relationship with the people that have the information.
So if I have a relationship with him, does it necessarily correlate to getting information from him? Yes or no?
After all, since we are related, we are, yes
Still
or no?
don't get me. How is the relationship, the good rapport with the person, translating to getting that vital information from the person? It's just, there's no other trick added to the question. How are you going to do it? I'm looking at your feasibility. How? How are you going to get the information? What are the steps? Like, you are the president, so what are the steps? How are you going to get the information?
Oh, I'm still not really clear though, man. How am I going to get these information?
It is what you've submitted that you are going
Yes,
to do.
yes.
Do you get? So
I
I'm
get
just
it.
asking you how you are going to do it.
Okay. So such information could be getting from them through the medias they share the information through.
So you would get the information from the media.
Not solely from the
But
media.
that's what you said. How? Like, let's move on. How?
How am I going to get this information?
Yes. You said you are going to ensure
All right.
that you get timely information. So how?
Okay, so to actually require of the secretary to update me on information that's of essence.
So you would take the information.
Have a
from
communication from the secretary.
which
Or
secretary?
maybe it could be the national secretary.
So the national
Yes,
secretary.
Who are responsible for the dissemination of the information.
Okay. I would look at that later.
Okay.
Aside this, what other activities do you want to do? Because these are your core mandates as enshrined in the Constitution. Do you get it? So
Yes.
is there any other activity you would want to do aside this?
New or
Any other activity you would want to do aside what is here?
is to sustain the already existing policies. That's sustain the already existing policies that are benefiting the student body.
So that is the other, like I want a feasible, okay, so I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Okay,
What's
so I'm
the
going to
feasible?
continue the already started driving license exercise, and then the biometric registration
How? How are you going to continue it?
is to actually renew a contract, maybe with the body, the formal or the
So
current
right now
body.
you are in office. I'm looking at the practicality of
Yes.
everything. Do you get it?
Yes,
Right
that's
now
right.
you are in office. Do you get it? So tell me the steps. What are you going to do? Assume you are in the office. So what are the activities you are going to do?
All right, so it's to write a letter, okay, to the bodies that are responsible for specifically the driving license exercise, and usually schedule a time with them and then go meet with them and talk with them. That this is
That's
what we
my
have.
last follow-up.
Okay.
The reason why I was asking how is because I wanted to create a chain of events. So
Yes.
this is my last follow-up.
Yes.
With your submissions, okay, would you believe or would you agree with me
Yes.
that you have little regard for the Constitution, the SRC? Because first you said your source of authority is the SRC Constitution. Do you agree with me that you have little regard for the SRC Constitution? Would you agree with me, yes or no? You said that your main source of authority is the SRC Constitution,
Yeah.
legal document you quoted. So would you agree with me that you have little regard for the SRC Constitution?
I can say that.
Yes or no?
No.
No. Please be confident. I'm also assessing your confidence. Do you get it? So be confident, yes or no?
No.
No.
Yeah.
In Article 91,
Yes.
because of time,
Mhm.
let's move on. In Article 91, Clause 5, it says that all your activities are subjected to the approval of the General Assembly of the individual campus to which you fall. So meaning that before you will do everything, including your letter that you are going to write and everything, you are supposed to what? Submit your activity for approval from the General Assembly
Okay.
of the campus. But you never said that you are going to submit yourself to the General Assembly. So is it safe to say that you have little regard for the Constitution now? Is it safe to say that? There's no error. We are all learning. Is it safe to say that you had little regard for the Constitution?
Okay, we could see the responses I'm giving projected that.
No, would you say that yes or no?
Yes.
Because of time? Yes.
Okay.
Then would you also agree with me that if you have little disregard for the Constitution, that means it's a sign of bad leadership? Would you agree with me? Anyone who has little disregard for the Constitution, it's a bad sign of leadership. Like the leadership style that has little regard for the Constitution, of which is the foundation of your authority, of which you said, is a sign of bad leadership. Okay, partially a sign of bad leadership. Would you agree with me? Would you agree with me? Yes or no?
Mr. President.
I think my time is up. So yes or no? Would you agree with me? Like I said, we are all learning.
I wouldn't agree.
Do you get it? And I'm also assessing your ability to be truthful.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Because you have to serve us with truthfulness. So if you don't admit, I'm not pushing you to that, but I just want you to answer yes or no.
I'm getting you.
So would you agree that it's a sign of bad leadership? Yes or no, please?
No.
It's not a sign of bad leadership. A leader who has little, without the Constitution, means you'll be doing whatever you want to do. And anyone will not be held accountable.
Okay.
So the question is, a leader without regard for the Constitution, the SRC Constitution, is a sign of bad leadership, true or false? Okay, so since my time is up, I would pass it to you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Eric.
Yes, sir.
Okay, before, I just have some few questions for you. But before I start, in the Ghanaian society, okay, anytime you go into someone's office or someone's house, what do you do first?
You knock.
Okay.
And you greet.
Okay, so when you came here, did you greet? No. You didn't greet?
No.
You didn't greet? Okay, so
in my
that's a recommendation. That is our customs, and then we don't do away with our custom. Anytime you go somewhere, you have to greet. I'm not saying you should greet me, but then it's something we do. When you go to any office, you do that. I think that was when the first panel or the second panel was asking a question about whether you've been to Parliament before, and he said no, because anytime, if you make an attempt to go, that means you are going to take responsibilities of the TNT. So, can I say that you have a personal interest of coming to embezzle the money for your TNT?
No, sir.
So, can you explain that? Why did you say you've never been to the Parliament sitting before, just because you can't get money to finance your TNT. But now that you are becoming a president, local NUGS president, which at every parliamentary sitting you have to be there, you will be there. How?
Yes, I won't be there because I know it is my duty, and I'm aware that since it's my duty, I should make sure resources are there to put me there, no matter how it costs me.
Okay, so resources are there. So that means you are just coming with a mindset of that resources. Like
no,
you are just okay.
What I stated was, if it depends on me to be there, since it's my duty, I will personally make sure I attend to such duties, no matter the circumstance. With regards to his question, I may say I've not been there because maybe it just didn't occur that I have a duty to play there. Thank you.
Okay. How would you take failure? How would you accept failure?
I will accept failure as a ground to realize your faults and improve on them. No human being is born perfect.
Okay. All right. So, my last question. The first female vice chancellor, okay, in the Ghanaian University was Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. In which university?
University of Cape Coast, UCC.
Okay. You are correct. All right. So I think I'm done. That's all.
Thank you.
Please, do you have any questions for him? Thank you so much, Mr. Heflide Eric. Before I leave, do you have any words for the panel?
I would say thank you to all the gentlemen here. First of all, I appreciate the knowledge you've imparted in me, starting from my left to right. I really appreciate it. Continue with the good work and the good transparency as you're already projecting, and have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is it? So kindly look at the camera facing you and say a few words to your well-wishers out there.
Good afternoon, students of Hohoe and the UHAS community in a whole. It's a great honor to be here to take such a bold decision to stand in as a local NUGS president. You've heard of the things I have for you. I'm a human. I may be imperfect sometimes. I may make mistakes. But I believe that working on these mistakes shows you are truly a human. Vote if the time comes. If I should be deemed, realized by the vetting committee as the right man for the job. May the good Lord be with you and His mercy abundantly work in your lives. Thank you. Thank you.